Hi, everybody. Welcome to Drag Racing's Golden Era. My name is Randy. I'm the editor-in-chief here, and this is the first in a new series of podcasts that we're going to be doing called Drag Racing Heritage. And tonight our guest is going to be Geoff Monise. He's going to join us. He's the driver of the Quarter Pounder Funny Car, which is not to be confused with the Elky Quarter Pounder Funny Car, which is out there. He is Nostalgia Top Fuel. And we've got some great clips of him running at Bowling Green, and these guys are a fantastic team. And we would like to now welcome Geoff to the program. Hi, Geoff. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing? Thanks for
Uh,
having me.
I'm doing great. So, as we familiarize people more and more with the Heritage Series and what you guys do with the nostalgia cars, I guess I'd like to find out first. So, with the listeners, what's your history in drag racing? Is there a family history there, or what have you got for a history for us?
My drag racing history started in '06 when I met my now wife. I met her when I was helping another buddy out, Will Martin, and we met Keith Clark, who is my wife's father, in '06. So he was going to do some chassis work on a car that we were trying to go Sifka racing with. And it just started there, and then it all snowballed from there.
Oh,
Before that, I was a road racer.
a
I,
road racer.
I road race. My family road races.
Really?
Yep.
You ever been up by me to Elkhart Lake?
No, not that far.
Not that far.
My grandpa drove for Peter Brock BRE back in the '60s. He went
Wow.
back that way. And then my father raced Atlantic cars, open wheel Atlantic cars. My brother races. My uncle worked for Dan Gurney. I mean, that was my racing experience, was road racing up until '06.
So it was just sort of happenstance that all of a sudden now you're a drag racer?
Absolutely. I mean, and shortly after I met my wife, I met Randy in '06. I started working on the car, and it's more than just the racing. The whole it's the crew, it's the working on the car, it's the preparation. It's a 5.5 second run. That's not what that's like the reward, but all of it is the being at the track all day. It's the long hours. It's the 2 days a week working on the car. I mean, it's way more than just the 5 second run
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
brought me in.
I know that with the people that join us here on this program that everybody understands that what we see out on that track is hours, weeks, and months of preparation before you even show up on the track.
Absolutely. I mean, we got to run on the track because why would we do all this work if we didn't? But most of these are won and lost before we even leave the house. I feel as long as we execute what we can do, we should be fine.
Yeah, I agree. It's like any sports. The sport's won in the practice. It's not won when you show up at the game. Absolutely.
one Hundred
So
percent.
why don't you tell us, bring us up to speed here on the nostalgia class of funny car. What are the specs that you guys have to meet to be considered nostalgia?
So the class goes back to the early guys with Dan Horan and Jeff Gaynor, Utterback. All of them started the class middle 2000s,
Yep.
and it was based around a 21-gallon fuel pump. At that point, it was a Mallory mag and a 671 blower. And then at that point, it was an 89, 79 or older body.
Okay.
And those rules are basically still intact. I mean, we've evolved a little bit, but not much.
Well, I can tell you that just by the speeds that you guys are running, and by the way, I see that your personal best is ET 553 at 262 miles an hour. You know, back in the early 70s, they weren't running that fast. So you guys are doing better than they did back then.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we went 553 at the reunion, and that's 21-gallon pump. That's older AJ fuel heads, and then a cast little field blower. We have nothing that's trick on our car. We're just trying to use it all correctly.
Well, and I'm honestly, that's the key to this, and it always was back in the day too. How can you get the most efficiency out of what you're doing with what you have?
Absolutely, and we're not the biggest budget at all. There's plenty of teams out there that will outspend us before they get to the second race. But you just got to be smart. You got to use every little bit of fuel we get.
Yeah. Um, are you pretty easy on parts with the team with the way you run your setup? Are you pretty easy on them?
Tune-up wise, yes, we had some parts issues that we were confused with last year. We heard some parts, but it wasn't a tune-up issue. It was a parts manufacturing issue. We feel. I mean, we all say that, but we truly think it was that. So last year we had a little bit, and it ended up costing us in the end.
Well, I there's nothing you can do about the manufacturer. I know to be able to keep one of these teams going, you got to be easy on parts. I get that. I mean, this is an expensive deal. I want to I want to say something from my perspective here. 2023 at Bowling Green. I cover that race every year. I love doing it there. That track is just so cool. From 2023 to 2024, I saw a huge improvement in your team's performance. I was blown away by what you guys were doing in 2024. I thought you were going to take Bobby Cottrell out. I thought you had it done.
Absolutely, and that all goes back to my guys, Keith Clark, my father-in-law, and Bob DeVore. They worked tirelessly on this thing every day. They're in the car. Then we got Chris Miner that came in, Larry Miner's kid. He came in to help us out. He did left side cylinder head, and then we had Todd on the right with Mark. All my guys worked so hard throughout the year, just trying to refine our program. We haven't changed tune-up, in a long time. We just keep picking at it and picking at it. And Bowling Green was looking good, but the driver left a lot to be desired for that weekend. And we learned from that, and we'll improve from there.
Okay, I wasn't Jeff. I wasn't going to bring that up, but that film that I have of you leaving the line against Cottrell, yeah, you were a little late on that one, weren't you?
Yeah, and I almost drove the thing back to the pits after that. I got to say
Uh,
that, I'm not going to make excuses. All I sucked. I was late, but first round I didn't. I pedaled to it. I had a decent pedal first round. The second round, same thing. I think the humidity got to me. I might have been a little dehydrated because I just wasn't. I wasn't driving my normal self because usually this is all I know. Like it's hard for me to screw this up. That's all I know is racing.
yeah.
You know, so I didn't have anything else in my mind. I just sucked that day. So I got to blame on humidity.
Well, I'll give you that because it is brutal. Bowling Green is brutal. I've spent the last 4 years out on that starting line, and it just kicks my ass.
Absolutely. I'm in Southern California. I'm 10 miles from the ocean right now. We don't have humidity like that and heat, and we just I don't know. I'm gonna blame that.
Well, okay. I'm glad you brought it up. I wasn't going to bring it up, but yeah, you were a little late on that run. It's too bad because in my opinion, I think you had Bobby. I think you had it. I try not to pick favorites at the races, but I think I went down in the pits and talked to you guys and said, you know what? I'm picking you guys because your performance was unbelievable that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we felt good. The car responded to everything we did. And the weekend before in Bristol, we number one qualifier. Lost to Bobby again in the final, but it, we beat him early in the year. We knew we could do it.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, right? Live and learn, move on. There's another whole season coming up ahead of us.
Absolutely.
Um, what's the Heritage Series look like for you guys this year and the Legends Series? How many races you think you're going to make? All of them, or you got to have a limited schedule?
Um, we know we're going to the March meet. We know we're going to Pomona and Phoenix for the Legends. And
Okay.
then if we haven't leveled everything in those three races, we'll go to Boise and we'll hit everything. Won't go to Canada. That's just too far.
Yeah,
But
I hear you.
um, loosely, we will go. We'll probably end up going to Woodburn, and then we're planning on going to Indy.
Cool. That'd be awesome. Um, but you didn't say Bowling Green, but I'm assuming Bowling Green's in there, right?
We don't have funny cars at Bowling Green. They took us off. They took us off the entry.
Okay, you got to be kidding me. I didn't even notice that. I haven't looked at the schedule for this year. Funny Cars got pulled off the schedule at Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, I loved going to Bowling Green. It was great.
Why would they do that? Do you know a reason for that?
No, something I don't know. They have dragsters still, which is great. Dragsters are awesome, but we're good when we're together. Dragsters are funny.
I agree with that. I'm not sure what that's about. I'm gonna have to dig into it. I saw Bobby Hilton posted something about increased car counts for, the top fuel side of it this year, and I don't know if that has something to do with it. I'll dig into it and see. I did not know that. Well, I guess I learned something sitting here. Well, um, what I'm hoping is I'm hoping to make it out to Boise this year to do some coverage from out there. We're trying to expand our coverage. Canada, have you ever been up to? Have you ever taken the car into Canada? I'm curious, what's that like in customs?
Oh, my father-in-law has. He's gone to Canada a bunch. I've never been. I would love to go. I just, man, that we get to the border, we're halfway there for us. So it's just right.
It's not cheap pulling one of these cars around the country, is it?
Nope,
Absolutely not. Um, speaking of that, speaking of cheap, I'm curious. I know that there's always been complaints about the Heritage Series not paying enough for, for winners and contingency money and stuff like that. I'm assuming you guys don't do this for the money.
we can't. It
No.
really it isn't good enough. But you know, unfortunately, we've set a precedence. We're going to show up anyways. You know,
Well, I'm glad that we have guys like you around because you're keeping the sport alive. And by the way, when it comes to favorites, again, I don't try to pick favorites, but I got to tell you, that body on your car, that is so freaking cool. That is one of the coolest bodies out there.
thank you. I mean, Keith and I built that car in 2020. Built it in 136 days. Mounted the body. Got the body over to Bryco, Cameron Fierre's father, Brian. We had Youngblood do the design, and we made the March meet. With a week to spare. That
Oh,
was
Kenny did that design?
yeah. That's a Youngblood design.
Oh, really? Didn't know that.
Yep. It's a Rossetti body out of Pennsylvania, Funny Farms. Does a great. We got two more bodies coming from him to mount.
Oh,
He's keeping us
okay.
busy.
Well, it's one of the coolest bodies out there, and that's God. I'm actually kind of flabbergasted right now about the fact that funny cars aren't going to be at Bowling Green.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah, we were a little disappointed to see that too.
Well, and I'm looking at what I'm looking at here is the schedule from the qualifying from last year, and I mean, I didn't look at the 2023 numbers, but I mean, your top qualifying came in at 258 at 5.609. I mean, that's a hell of a qualifying number, and Cottrell was what 260, so
Yeah.
that was anybody's race there. I assume is, and I haven't asked the question of this yet of anybody either. Is Cottrell still in that car, or did I see that he's out of that car?
He's out of the car. He's in the Speed Sport car now, I believe.
That's what I
And
thought.
one of my good friends, Shane Westfield, is driving Bucky's car right now.
Okay. All right. I had heard that Bobby was stepping out of that car. We'll have to make contact with him and talk about it, I guess. Um, so uh, I want to ask you this. I want to give you a chance to talk about your sponsors. Who's sponsoring your car and who's helping you fund this operation?
Chris Minor Racing's helping us a lot. And then we have a whole host of people that have been getting us up and down the road. We brought on Maximum Oil this year. Really good guys. Troy Green and everyone else has been really supportive, really excited to join us. Justice Brothers back on board. Great products at Justice. They're all just great people. Snake, CP Carrillo. They're helping us out. Andre and Jeremy and Donnie at Brad Anderson Enterprise. They've always taken great care of us. We got a good group of people. It's fun. Ace Laser Cutting's back on board. Just yeah, not
Well,
much changes here.
dude, that's a hell of a group of names you just named off there to have on board on your team. No wonder you guys are improving the way you have. Holy crap, that's some serious names.
My father-in-law's been doing this for 50 years last year, so he's developed some relationships over the past 50 years. And bringing on Bob DeBoer, the two of them, they're 78, 79 years old. They've been around forever, so they've got a lot of connections, and they've never asked a lot from anybody. But now they just want to, if we call, answer our phone type deal, and everyone's answering, and we're getting answers, and we're moving forward.
That's cool. I like hearing that these what I like hearing the most is that you guys have people that are willing to help to keep this sport alive because I know there's a lot of us that we're not sure whether drag racing's in trouble or what's happening with it, but it feels like something is sliding downhill here, and I don't want to see that happen.
Completely agree, and I think that's racing on a whole. I think it's just kind of not that there's not people that want to do it, but there's so many avenues to do it. We could, I could be in Tulsa this week and racing a midget. There's so many avenues that everyone can race. It's a flooded market of ways to go racing.
Yeah. Well, how do you have a hard time finding people that are willing to help out, on the crew to help work on the
Oh,
engine, help work on the car?
absolutely. I mean, I've had Todd Wirtz, Mark Peterson, and my father-in-law for man, probably 8 years now working on the car, and we got two positions that just rotate out. I brought in Jim Hammond from he's a sand drag guy,
Yeah.
did a great job towards the end of the year. And we had Chris Miner helping us a little bit last year, but I think he wants to go sit in a chair and watch us work, which is awesome. That's fine.
What about young people? You got any young people that are interested that are, I mean, that's what I'm missing here is where's the young people?
I We had a young kid, Matt, who awesome kid, would do anything. The problem with young kids is that Big Show appears we have young kids and they call and they want them. So he
I suppose I never thought of it that way.
Yep. He's in Ypsilanti, Michigan now, and helps us when he can.
Well, I guess you can't blame him for that, can you?
Not one bit. That's awesome. That's what we wanted from it.
Well, I guess with your improved performance last year, at least that I saw on the track, what are you anticipating for this year? Are you anticipating another uphill charge here from you guys, or have you figured this car out, or you got more improvements you can make?
We put the car on a diet this off season. It was getting heavy, just little things here and there, and the driver was getting heavy. It was just little things that we had to take care of. But it's going to be a lot of rinse and repeat and just trying to go one round further. That was our biggest problem this year. Our average qualifying this year was like 2.6. I mean, out of the 8 races, it was ridiculously good.
Yeah.
But we only won one race, and we only had three finals, so we weren't able to close the deal, and we want to work on that and close the deal more.
And what do you think the solution to that is? Is it a combination of things? You driver, engine, traction? What do you think? What do you think's the key there?
We lost a couple key rounds just because I don't know if the track got away from us or our car is extremely aggressive early. We're going to be the quickest car to 60 foot everywhere we go.
Yep.
I think that bites us someplace. So we've had some talks about changing our approach to try and maybe slow it down, pick it up in the middle, gain it back. And I think we're going to try and go that direction. But until then, we're just going to kind of, not suck.
So I guess where do you guys have to test obviously in the off season to figure out if you got your combination right. Where do you guys go to be able to test this car?
Testing's extremely difficult for us. We can go to Bakersfield and have one test session.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Or we can test Wednesday at the March meet. And
It's that limited, huh?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is.
You can't go out in the street in front of your shop and just do it out there.
Right. Exactly. That'd be nice. And and we're all extremely busy. We're mounting a brand new body for Matt Bynum. I got two more bodies coming for Tim Boychuk. And just, we're busy right now. So we can't really take weekends off to go do that.
Yeah. What about Tim Boychuk? What's your association with him? We've got some great footage of him too from Bowling Green.
We built him a brand new car. He's going to debut at the March meet.
Oh, really? Okay. He's a good guy, isn't he?
Absolutely great guy.
Yeah.
Him, Twig, and that was awesome to see them win Vegas in the Legends race.
Yeah, I agree with that. That was pretty cool. He looked like a kid in a candy store. The pictures that I saw him, he was thrilled to death.
Absolutely.
So it looks like I'm hoping we continue to see a charge from you guys this year. You got any closing thoughts for us? We wrap this first session of ours up here.
Absolutely. I mean, we lost the championship by 11 thousandths. We had to go one round further than we did, and we hope that 2025 isn't that close. I hope we can get a couple wins and really kick some butt.
Well, I am looking forward to seeing you out on the track again this year. I'm hoping that we make it with our cameras out to Boise, or at least one of the other Heritage Series races. And it's unfortunate you guys aren't going to be in Bowling Green. I'm definitely going to miss all of you down there. So, good luck to you this season, and we'll be in touch here. We'll talk to you again maybe as the season goes on, see how it's going for you.
Absolutely, anytime.
All right, Geoff, we appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, so as an add-on to the end of this interview that I just concluded with Geoff Monise, I was caught totally by surprise, as you heard, with Geoff telling me that the Nitro Funny Car, the Nostalgia Funny Car class, would not be at Bowling Green this year. Well, as soon as I got done with the interview, I called up Bobby Hilton, who's kind of my go-to guy when it comes to trying to find inside baseball of what's going on here with the Heritage Series. He happened to be out in Vegas as I was calling him for the Hot Rod Heritage Series awards banquet. But he did tell me that that is correct. The Nostalgia Funny Cars will not be back at Bowling Green this year. Part of the deal that the Nostalgia Funny Car class had with the NHRA was that they would go to Bristol for the Legends race, and then the deal was that they had to stop in Bowling Green on their way back after that race and race in that race in order to, I think Bobby said, to keep their points or whatever it was. It was part of an agreement that the NHRA had with the Nostalgia Funny Car group. So that's why the last couple of years they've been in Bowling Green, because they've been racing the Legends race in Bristol, and it's my understanding that that race is not going to happen this year. The Legends series is not going to be in Bristol, so therefore they are not going to be in Bowling Green. It's very disappointing that the NHRA has decided to just cut that class from the Bowling Green race, because last year's race, I have to tell you, with the funny cars that were there, the top fuel class, there weren't as many altereds there. One of the guys who we were sad to see that wasn't there was Rich Guasco with Pier Hell, but Rich's health and has prevented him from doing a whole lot of traveling, and we're not sure what the future is for the Pier Hell fuel altered. But anyway, what I learned was that the NHRA is talking, and I don't know if this is laid out in stone yet or not. In future conversations here, hopefully throughout this next week here, I will have some better answers to what's going on here. But it is my understanding at this point right here, and this would be the end of January 2025, that they are going to be trying to increase the car count for top fuel at Bowling Green to make it a 16-car field. Now, I don't know where they're going to get these cars from, and I know that there was some, what shall we call it, problems with Jim Young and his group several years ago that wanted to see a 16-car show at that point, and Jim has disappeared from the Hot Rod Heritage Series with his group of top fuel drivers, and they have not come back, and I don't know if they ever will come back. I don't know where that whole relationship stands. Maybe we'll dig into that too here as time goes on. But that is what it sounds like to me right now. Bobby did say that, and I don't know, it was a rapid fire conversation, so I may have misinterpreted, but my understanding was from Bobby was that they were going to have possibly 4 booked in funny cars for the Bowling Green Wally Parks Nostalgia Nationals event in 2025. So that's all I know right now. We're going to find out more, and as time goes on here, I'm sure we'll uncover what the NHRA's thoughts are here. I've heard that there's going to be some restructuring of possible management oversight of these events and the whole series in general, and so the future, it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping the NHRA knows what they're doing and are able to keep these events alive and to keep the nostalgia sport growing, because I think it's so crucial to have these events that can visit these smaller tracks and put on a show for the people. People want to see a nitro show, and without going to a big event, big show NHRA event, they can get some good nitro racing, and I mean, it's good racing, as you saw from my footage this year of Bowling Green. It is very good racing. That final between Geoff Monise and Bobby Cottrell, other than Geoff leaving the starting line a little late, that whole weekend of funny car racing was outstanding. So was with Top Fuel too. So that's what I know for now. Next week we have, let me check my calendar here. Let me pull it up. Next week we are going to have on Tyler Hilton. Tyler's going to be joining us next Monday. So tune back in for some more of our new podcast series. It'll be episode 2, Tyler Hilton. He's going to talk about his Top Fuel team, his 3 championships in the Hot Rod Heritage Series. I'm going to see if we can get him to talk about Allison Lee also, and maybe talk about his dad too. His dad's got a pretty storied history in drag racing, and I got to tell you, Bobby's a hardcore dude. As we saw with footage this year, he I don't know if he broke his leg, broke his ankle, He messed up his leg in one way. He had a car part dropped on him while an engine part dropped on him while he was laying underneath the car, or somebody stepped on him. I don't remember exactly what the circumstances were, but he ended up coming back to the race with a cast on his leg and in crutches, and he did not miss the rest of that race. So Bobby's hardcore. We'll get Tyler to talk about his dad too, so we want to hear about that. So join us next week, Monday, at 6 p.m. Central Time, and we will have Drag Racing Heritage with Tyler Hilton. All right, guys, that's what I know. We'll talk next week. Bye.